Night Shift Stories. Story number 1. Ghosts in the Petrol Station. This is a story from my old petrol station. I will not tell you the exact station, but it's in North Lincolnshire, England, on a main road near dealerships. A little vague, as there's a lot of stations like this in the region, but I wish to keep my anonymity. I worked night shift for years, and I'd witnessed several creepy incidents, but here's the weirdest one. I'll give the lay of the land. The station building faced west, and the till was in the west front corner. I would sit and wait for customers. I also had a security camera on the till. One camera in the canopy to get car registrations, and I also had one camera on the north side facing east towards the exit of the station. Then, there was another camera on the back of the building facing north, and the last camera was over my head. The till faces north. 2009, early spring, and it's not long after 3 a.m., the witching hour. I was just waiting for customers. I'd finished my duties and had lunch. Yeah, at 3 a.m. Then I noticed something on the exit camera. A tall, huge black mass, dark in the center, but fuzzy around the edges. It was 7 feet tall and floating 3 feet off the ground. It walked across the exit road and disappeared into the wall I was facing. This freaked me out, but to make sure I wasn't seeing things, I checked the CCTV with access to all the cameras. I found the clip, and yes, it was there, and it got recorded. It was on the other cameras too, 4 in total. It recorded the mass coming from the dealership next to the station. It went through a chain fence, over our entrance road, over our lawn, over the exit road, and into the wall of the building. No cars went by. I didn't get a customer for the next half hour, and he drove in from the other entrance road. We had the tape for months, but it was taken away when the CCTV was upgraded from VHS to digital, and the station got demolished a few years later. I had no clue what it was, but that wasn't the first or last paranormal incident before I left, and I was there for 15 years. As you can tell, I was incredibly scared. I didn't know what the black mass was or why it was there, but there were plenty of ghost stories that went on in that petrol station. We were in the middle of nowhere, and as you can't blame me, I was a little freaked out by it. I wish I had that VHS tape still. Seeing the black mass was so vivid. It moved like it was a human, but it acted like it was transparent. I know without the tape, most people won't believe me, but that's just one of the many stories that I have working the night shift. Story number 2. Ghost Car. This happened about 1 or 2 years ago. I'm in the Alabama Air Force National Guard, but I work in a city in Florida. I was traveling home for the weekend late on a Friday night since I had to be at my unit the next morning. I have drill once a month. I've been traveling for a while now, and I was on the highway in Alabama near my parents' house. It was about 9 p.m. and there were no lights to light up the street, so you can imagine it was as dark as it gets, pitch black. I saw a car stop at a stop sign about 60 to 70 yards in front of me, and he went across the street. The street I was driving on, he passed through. Mind you, it is dark and the car had his lights on. When I got to the street he crossed, I looked down the street he went down, and there was nothing. There was no street, no car lights, and no car. It was only grass and a telephone pole. When I tell you I'm not crazy, I mean it. He went into nothing. I know for a fact I would have seen the red backlights at least, and I was going too fast for him to disappear before I got to him. I got out of there as fast as I could, wondering how and who or what that was. I call it a ghost car to this day, but I really don't know what it was. I can promise you I wasn't seeing things, and I can promise you that what happened and what I described happened in front of me. What I can't tell you is that I can explain it, because I can't. Story 3. The Pharmacy. I was working the night shift at a local pharmacy when I experienced something really horrifying. It was very late at night, and I was the only person in the building. I could hear the rain coming down hard outside, and there were no sounds to be heard from anywhere else in the building. Usually it didn't rain this hard where I was from. Then, out of nowhere, I thought I heard a noise from the back rooms. I turned quickly to the room I'd heard the noise from, and I swore I saw a shadow figure move across the glass in an area that had been closed off for some time now due to flooding. It moved so quick and silently into one of our back rooms that had been closed off for some time. I ran over to see if anyone was in there. I yelled, "Is anyone here?" But as soon as I entered the room, all the lights went out, and then they came back on again. When they did, everything looked really different. Now, keep in mind, I never do go in this room as it has always been closed off for me, but something about it felt off. It's almost as if the shadow figure I saw from before had made the room darker, and everything in it felt more evil, if it makes sense. I didn't feel comfortable anymore being there. I looked around, and as scared as I was, I backed against the wall. It was incredibly strange for the lights to go out at night like this, and to say I was scared is really an understatement. But then the strangest thing happened. That shadow figure I saw from before spoke to me. And when I say spoke to me, I don't want people to think I'm crazy, but I really did hear a voice. It was something along the lines of hello or good day. I couldn't tell where it came from, but at that point, I didn't care. I ran out of the room, rushing to the front area of where I usually work. I thought possibly an intruder would be in the building, so I called security to go check. After security showed up, they told me that the room was empty, that nothing in there had changed or had moved around. It made me feel like I was crazy, but I know what I saw and I know what I heard. Ever since that night, I stopped working the night shift. I couldn't really handle anything like that again, as it stuck with me for a very long time afterwards. I tried writing this story out, and I tried getting my emotions and everything onto a page, but nothing really helps at all. It wasn't traumatic in a sense of emotional damage, but what it was disturbing in a sense. I had not prior believed in ghosts, and when I worked overnights I never experienced anything like it. But for something like that to happen to me was unheard of in my life. It switched me over from being a skeptic to a believer. However, anytime I tell that story, people just think that maybe I was seeing things at night, and perhaps maybe I was. But I can't discount the fact that all the lights turned off and I saw something running behind me. It could have been the storm, but that noise and that voice that spoke to me felt so realistic. People spoke about the pharmacy being haunted, but little did I know that that haunting would actually happen to me one night.